Hold up though, focus on me, focus on me, focus on me. I heard Kendrick Lamar just walked away. He was sitting there talking today. I was sitting there in the hallway while he was seeing, finding everything that could be words that could be combined with or combining these syllables that I was sitting there drilling fools. They were sitting there like everything was killing these people sitting there like the Achilles knees. What's actually come out of this dude? I was sitting there like, how rude. How would you sit there with abstract rude? When he was sitting there with Absol, everybody's like, he's an asshole. I was like the capsule, sitting there like a castle. I'm too strong. Who wants to hear a new song? I'm like Kendrick Lamar just sat there and told you wrong. You was sitting there like you knew. I was like the new dude, Africa practicing voodoo on a other continent. I was just like holding consonants. Same thing, because the word came out of my mouth before I even dropped it with something you could comprehend it with, or actually sat there when you were sending it into the prayers of my ears. And I sat there like I was supposed to be all ears to everything that you've ever said. I was like never led to anything that was on the radio or walked around the earth like I could just stay this low, like I couldn't even hold these halos or the halo. So Beyonce is sitting there like this happened on my tray. Isn't that food that I actually wanted when I was a gospel singer before I actually stepped up and Jesus actually called me into it? Same with Taylor Swift, and they're wondering if they're going to get buried. I'm sitting there like I used to know Katy Perry, 10th Avenue North, and all kinds of bands that you never even understood because you were just staring. Never got involved in it. So I was just like, hold up, let's call him in. Every single call and win, I was building it at the same time hip hop started it. The shit that you're saying now, when the AK sprays, I'm like, where the casket lays, it doesn't really matter for the master praise. For all of you at the same time, when you're trying to stall a few judgments that are fallen to the same walk with you, you actually have to confront it or understand it doesn't matter if you're blunted or did you want it. I'm just telling you that's what I gave you. You're like a preview for what my kids are about to do. And they're about to pull up. So I'm about to make sure that everything that actually happens is full of bullet holes right in front of them so they can actually see it and understand when they're spitting, they better be spitting something they believe in. Drake didn't even understand that because it comes from a handstand, and everything that he in the hood was laughed out of and laughed at. At the same time, K Dot was like, bro, bring your cameras, find out, and time's out. Because I was trying to tell you, hey, bro, your country and my city would be equal to an avalanche that didn't even understand where it was going while it was flowing down and all the snow was rolling around, and all of you sit there in the same low and brow type of beer sipping mind state that would happen when your prime minister was going down, and I just sat there at the same time smoking out all of my homeboys, and we still are holding out. It must be golden now for you to even think that you could step up with that R&B in sync with dissing the one legend. I'm trying to tell you, you never even stepped in. Because if you Took your little 10 toes and sat there 10 toes down and all that shit that you were speaking all about. And half of my people stepped out and said, that guy's lowbrow when it comes to humor, got metaphors and everything, and so do we. But listen, sit there and glisten, because Pac is him spitting. You got your own words coming right back at you, and you didn't even understand this statue. Hey, homeboy, I was right there laughing at you. Ask any bitch I've ever been around. I've already told them I don't listen to that dude. Don't even know the shit. What he's speaking about. He must be holding this type of ego mentality, his ego's insistence, and I'm sitting there just like his fetal position has already been risen back up and down so many times. He's walking around NBA clowning them now, and since they were clowning him out, LeBron James wouldn't even shake his hand. People are sitting there like they was counting him out. He was the only one. They couldn't stand there, look in the mirror and see that he wasn't accepted. I heard forever. I was in the strip club all kinds of times, sitting there unprotected while he was walking around off his... That's the first time we heard him. We was trying to find the same. God bless his soul. I'll give a pass to Lil Wayne for actually saying that this dude could actually step up and take over. I was watching men turn into females over some shit that he said. So while the blood ran red and you want to understand what he said and actually be his property and everything that he led you into, I'm sitting there like every single song that he said. We used to do R&B. We just kept it that way. People were like, yo, you gotta scatter that away. I was like, the Sabbath is Saturday, and you actually resemble the saints of latter day, so you can push yourself on an after tray on front of an airplane that might actually make it, or it doesn't, because you hold nothing for sacred of what you should actually have been able to do by yourself to make it. Take a little bit of time to write a rhyme and sit there. I'll pass on Shannon, push it back into the planet, have it come back to another word that was called sublime. Music genre is flipping on type of fractions. You have to look at it from a mathematical extraction, from what actually the hood is and what happened. So who wants to say something? I remain laughing. I'm sitting there like, I don't like his voice. I didn't like his poise. I didn't like anything that he said though. Sit there just like we could just let go. Head slow. Real Chicago type of strongholds can really be some soldiers that roll up right on front of you. There's nothing you can do when O Block is sitting there like, hold up, dude, catching you in the back door. Everybody's sitting there like, what was he laughing for? What didn't he understand when he was caught lacking for? The AK-47 floats with the 223. I'm sitting there like, yeah, bring them to their knees. I don't really matter. I'm not in the streets. Somehow I would know that. I would step back. I wouldn't take it as I met defeat, conscious rap, or some type of hip-hop understanding. Who the fuck was this dude that actually stepped up in my planet and actually had my understanding when 5 went through me and I just sat there laughing? You've heard it on Hit 'Em Up. I heard Puffy's having a problem right now. I'm sitting there laughing right now. You don't shoot somebody and think you'll get away with it. I'm sitting there, you want to get slayed quick? You want to deal with Michael the Archangel then? I'm like, all right, which angle then? Or am I strangling them before they're even meeting somebody like me that would be seeking everything? I'm like heat seeking, missiles come through, like Putin sitting there calling me on the phone every single day. He thinks he's with God. I'm like, half of you is, and I'll use you and I'll talk to you and I'll have this entire planet sitting there, blood seeping out of the ground, everybody sitting there, and they were just walking around for a weekend. Back of the pain starts flowing through. There's nothing they can do. They're holding to something like that. I'm seeing the demon in you, and there's nothing that will distract. Then I'm sitting here. This is closed caption for everybody that wants to hear the Pope and everything. That's he's sitting on his throne. I can tell you, motherfuck you, your parents, and everybody in the Vatican. So what are you standing with? Are you standing like a mannequin? You can't even move. You can't even handle it. You're sitting there like, I read the scripture and I prayed to Jesus and now he saved me. So I can't even handle what is actually going to handle because I lit myself on fire the same time I found the candlestick. Oh my gosh, did you light one? I'm sitting there like, did you want to fight one? Or did you actually want to understand when these priests are sitting there trying to find out the right son? Come on, bro. We're sitting there like, we can go long for song, for long, or gone. Push people to the left so fast. Their heart is sitting there like, we live in cannabis lyrics or something that you've never even heard of. Because you're from a certain... Sorry, your generation is getting murdered. I'm sitting there like, I never even heard of. Scoffing from heaven, you should have read the scripture. Rip you. Anybody that could actually stick you into heaven, oh my gosh, you must have learned something else. Because heaven has heaven, and it has something else. So I'm sitting there like, how can I bust this out? Having too much fun at the same time. I've been battle rapping in scripture, battle rapping in the streets, battle rapping since the day I was born, killing people. They couldn't even understand what happened. They got people in Spanaway talking about that one time. Dude showed up, 12 gauge. His ex-girlfriend ain't that same sunshine. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone, huh? So I'm just sitting there. Who actually understands they want to fuck with me? I have no mercy, no compassion when I actually see the urgency to actually take up some shit to put you in a 3rd degree type of burn before you even noticed. Nerdist? Nerds with this? They actually sat there with a worthless wrist. I heard you males are having some problems with females. I'm like, let's get down to the details. So what do you actually want to say when the female tells you that she's a she-male? Oh my gosh, you guys have some problems. Drake over here singing to all of you. So I'm like, you're not like us. I was singing through Kendrick this one time. Was in Compton. Often. I'm coming from Echo Park. You can actually listen. Before we can do that, I had people coming from Laughlin. That's upstate, northern. Other people are sitting there like, all right, I can call all kinds of sets out and you guys can all do the same thing I used to do. Hands still turned true because we knew who. When you're locked in, is sometimes the times that you actually got that soft voice that I used to talk in. Got my people all across the planet. You wouldn't even understand it. My relationship with them, they're trying to figure out how the lacerations even happened before they happened, and they sat there and gasping type of position where they kneeled on their fucking knees and started asking. And you think you know everything about God and you're the one that's preaching and you should be the one they're asking? I'm sitting there like, I could say some words right now that would connect if I was battling my wife, and I'm not going to mention someone that never passed it to a point they could actually understand it. So I got retarded kids, like Eminem used to say. Yeah, I know all of your celebrities and what they have said and what they say. They go back and forth. It's like I'm looking at fish. Should I fillet? No, I'll keep you alive. Just to see what you'll say. I heard there was some type of God heard or God knows or let me tell you what the fuck I actually want to say. So you want to use my name every single day? I'm like, every single day. Step into the microphone and we could do this every single day. Condenser or what type of Pro Tools or whatever you want to use. Old Fools. I've got everything on top of it. I'm telling you, everything that you spit, I'm sitting there like, all right, let's use iambic pentameter. Let's actually sit there when the syllables are moving afterwards. Does it actually express the skill, or is this some type of laughing shit that you collapsed into from where you used to be? I tell you the truth. Nas himself used to have more. I've heard so many wars and battles in store. I took down Puffy and made sure Keefy D wondering, how did God know? Orlando praying to God, Lord, you know that wasn't me. Wait, there's gonna be more. So, if you don't even know the news or what actually happened in this actual contraption that you guys have now called hip hop, I'm sitting there looking at drill rap in Chicago like clicks and clips from the eclipse, grinding what it's turned into. I bet that shrapnel moves at a certain precision. You wouldn't even know it actually, a circus is missing. Once it's actually moving and there's nothing you could do for that, it moves in. It's splitting. Then what happens? My jurisdiction. It starts caressing the flesh. The flesh, they're sitting there like, the soul must be leaving. I'm sitting there like, that soul wasn't believing. And the other people that actually had a chance, gas stations talking about names I could put out in front of everybody. I sit there in the courtrooms making sure there is never money that actually takes out the justice that I'm actually employing for it. I'm on top of everything. So you guys are sitting there like you haven't even got the wedding ring, or do you know everything? I'm just sitting there like, I bet that rock is stepped on. telling my people maybe that'll be 3 days that you don't step into these things. Crack houses and everything that's coming from whatever you're talking about. I'm sitting there from Detroit. You don't even know me. My pops, 11 and a half mile. I could talk for miles and smile. You have no fucking idea. I'm from a place that I know. I was sitting at a party house. We were talking about idea and the rhyme sayers and underground hip hop before it became whatever you thought was an idea. Talking this long from UGG.com. That's for the homie. Just to let you know. You knew me before. It's good to see you too. Now I'm answering you, huh? So, anybody that wants to actually know how long I've been writing and I'll still be writing. I'll still be perfect penmanship. And you already know.